Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is going to be completely different. My name is Ernest Covington III. I'm the Executive Director of the Rhode Island Commission on the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. This is our very first time, for me anyway, hosting the coffee hour. And I know that historically it's been a live event at the State House, but because of COVID, we had to really get creative. So our staff came up with this idea to do it virtually. And I thought that was pretty cool. So you'll have a chance to look and see all the different sponsors, the different exhibits, and different presenters. And we have had a number of events leading up to this for the last couple of weeks, actually. And I want to say a huge thank you to Pam Zellner. Wow, what a fantastic program administrator she's been. She has worked so hard to make everything successful. And my staff has been right there too, supporting her. So I want to thank my staff and all the organizations who've sponsored us tonight and all of you for joining us tonight. I'm sure we'll have a great time. Before we go ahead and get started, I wanted to make a couple of comments about Zoom and how we typically operate. We'll be providing certified deaf interpreters, meaning that if anybody, we will be recording this, excuse me, we will be recording this event. So when this event is over, if people weren't able to be here, you'll have a chance to look at it. And it can also be posted on Facebook and other social media. Secondly, if you don't mind, if you could all turn off your video cameras, please. The reason I'm asking you to do that is if we have only 4 cameras open at any given time, it'll be easier for the viewers and everyone will have equal access. If there are too many screens open at once, everyone is tiny and nobody can really see or participate. So we'll have 4 screens open at any given time and we'll take it as it goes. You will have the ability to talk, to ask questions. We have a Q&A session scheduled for tonight. You'll be able to speak with the sponsors and the presenters tonight. We have 3 speakers. We also have exhibitors, and you'll be able to ask them questions. If you want to ask a question, all you have to do is open your screen, ask your question, and then close your screen. And we'll take turns rather than everybody opening their screen at once. If you see more than 4 people, just hold off a moment until there's room on the screen for just 4 cameras. I'm really looking forward to this event and I'm excited. We're going to go ahead and follow an agenda. Between 7:30 and 8, we'll be wrapping things up. We want to make sure that everyone's cameras are off. And then, as I said earlier, when it's time for question and answer, that will be the time for you to turn your cameras on. And you can ask the commissioners questions, you can ask the exhibitors questions, whatever you like. And then turn your camera off and we'll answer your questions. So that's the plan for now. Thank you. And what I'd like to do now is turn it over to our Rhode Island CDHH board chair, and that's Tim Riker. Tim will tell you a little bit more about tonight. Go ahead, Tim.
So Tim's saying, can everybody see me? I want to make sure.
We still need people to close their videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see Tim. Can you
All
see
right.
him? He see you?
So Ernest is reminding people to please turn their videos off. I can see Tim, Carol. So I'm good.
Go ahead then. Go ahead.
So some people want to see the certified deaf interpreter working at the same time if Fatima, but it seems like I'm small still. The other folks, if they could please turn it off, turn their phones off, their videos off, that would be great. Thank you. So Fatima can also interpret what I'm saying. Hi to everybody. I'm thrilled that we have this virtual coffee hour tonight. This year, 2020, there's been a lot of changes, and it's really important that we see what we're hoping for the future, that we can look forward and think, what's going to happen in 2021? Hopefully we'll have a vaccine for COVID-19. We're moving forward on that front. We'll have a President-elect Biden being inaugurated. So there'll be a lot of changes, we hope, starting in the new year for our community here in Rhode Island. Ernest Covington has been working in Rhode Island for over a year. I have to say that he took over during one of the worst times we have ever had. And yet he's kept going, he's kept the staff going, and a lot of people who have volunteered and helped and joined in. I'm very, very impressed. It makes me proud and actually inspired to be part of this community, to see how we've worked together. And we've been able to keep going, which is great. Deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind, late deafened, all kinds of people all over the community have taken it on themselves to keep it going and not stop. So I'm very excited now. I'm looking forward to the future. Thank you. Can people see me?
Hello? Hello?
Leanne, we can hear you. Are you trying to say something?
Before we keep going, if everyone could just turn off their cameras. I know, Leanne, we can hear you, but ideally, if you could turn off your cameras as well as your background sound, so that would be the mute button. That way it'll be quiet in the background and this will run more smoothly.
Is this better?
You need to actually turn it off. Click on the mute button. So the Rhode Island commissioners are here tonight. If you don't mind, I'm going to call on you and have you open your videos, introduce yourselves, talk about where you are in your term, and maybe just a brief comment. And we're going to go ahead. We saw Tim Riker. Maybe you could go ahead, Tim, and start this off. Hi, everybody. My name is Timothy Riker, but I go by Tim. And I've been the chair of the board. This is my second term. I'm in my second term. And very nice to see you. Thanks, Tim. And Caroline.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
Carol, sorry. Carol, this would be, instead of you interpreting on this screen, we should be doing it on this screen.
Okay. Stop video. Okay. I'm interpreting now. Fatima. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Caroline. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Caroline Obrecht, and I'm the vice chair of the commission. I believe I've served on the commission for about 4 years. So it's been a time of growth and change for the commission and myself. And I look forward to continuing to serve during these challenging times, but I'm very excited about the direction in which we're going of inclusion and diversity and service to many, many people. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next commissioner, please, if one of you could just open up, How about Betsy? Betsy, turn on your microphone.
Sorry.
Oh, it went off again, Betsy. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's my name, Betsy Beach. I'm currently the secretary of the commission. I've been a commissioner for about 11 years, so a long time. I'm late deafened, hard of hearing, severe, profound deaf. And I wear 2 high-powered hearing aids. And I use captions and CART when I'm at meetings. Good to see everybody. Sorry about my scary pillow. This is my granddaughter's pillow.
Thank you so much, Betsy. Now, who else do we have here from our commission? Let's see. If we have any commissioners, just go ahead and open up your screen. It looks like that may be it for right now. So Tim, maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the commission objectives and some of the other commissioners who aren't here tonight, if you
Tim
don't
Same.
mind.
For sure, I'll try to remember them all. There's a lot of names now. So now you've met myself, Tim Riker, and you just saw Caroline Obrecht and Betsy Beach. There's Brett Hayes. He is involved with, he's the treasurer, so he does budgets for us. He's deaf, but does not use American Sign Language. Oh, now this is a test of my memory. The 5th person is Kimberly Marthers. She's a commissioner. Oh my gosh.
Boonmi
Boomy, right, Boomy.
Osho.
So Boomy Osho, she's she just recently joined the commission. We're very excited to have her. Help me out. Oh, I should have had a list in front of me. I didn't expect to, Betsy, yeah, if you could. So Tina Nelson, she's another new person. She's an interpreter and she is not deaf and she joined the commission. Now, am I missing anybody else?
Did you mention Brett Hayes? Brett Hayes, yeah, okay.
Oh, you got Brett. Okay, very good. Thank you, Tim.
So
So-
that's all of our commissioners. We have 2 new commissioners that we are looking for. We've chosen them. We've simply sent off their applications to the governor so that they'll be officially appointed. You may be interested in knowing who they are. We're having a meeting on December 9th. Let me just double check that to be sure. Yes. Excuse me, the 7th. We haven't chosen a time yet. The 9th. It is the 9th. And we have not chosen a time yet. We're thinking probably 5 to 6:30. It could be 6 to 8. If you're interested in joining that meeting, it's open to the public. And you'll see our new commissioners. They are both deaf and they both use American Sign Language. And we're so excited to have them starting with us. We'll still be looking for 2 more positions to be filled. Because both of those are, as I said earlier, we have 2 who are deaf and use ASL, and we have 2 more positions for people who are deaf and use ASL. We need more people, and we want to have a full board. So we're looking forward to seeing your interest in your applications. And now I'd like to recognize
Because Perspectives keeps on asking,
Perspectives.
saying that they can't see the interpreter.
Oh. We have a couple of people whose terms are ending, and I want to acknowledge those individuals for their work. We have Donna Frio, who has shared her experience with the commission for a long time. She served as a commissioner, and she'll be leaving. Gina, if you'd like to make a couple of comments, I'm so happy to see you here.
And I'll interpret. Oh, so I joined in 2017 after I retired from working at the VA. I was at the VA hospital for 30 years. It's been a great experience for me to be on the board, on the commission. A real learning experience for me. I came in during a time when the prior director was leaving and there was a lot of transition. So it was hard learning the position at the same time that that was all happening. And then he came back for a while, but then he had another job, so he left. And at that point, you were involved with the search committee. Tim was doing a lot of the interviews and whatever, and I know it was a lot of work. So I want to thank Pam and the other people on the staff and the people involved. Everybody was helping each other a lot, which was great. And I think it was a time where there was a lot of work getting done. You know, being a member of the board, that was a great experience at the time. And I'm sorry I have to leave the commission at this point. I have another commitment and I can't really give it enough of my focus. I don't feel it's fair. I'm going to be missing working with all of you. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much, Gina. We really appreciate your service. And I hope to see you again down the road. Again, thank you so much. We have a second outgoing commissioner, and that's Claudia Martin. Claudia is hard of hearing, and she got involved with the commission a couple of years ago. She works as a school teacher in a mainstream elementary school here in Providence. And she got involved with the commission because as she was becoming hard of hearing, losing her hearing, she wanted to learn as much as she possibly could about services and access for deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf blind people. So she was here to learn and take workshops and grow as much as possible. And she wanted to be as helpful to the deaf community as she possibly could. So she was very much interested in the deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf blind community because she could relate. She too had many conflicting commitments and had to leave us. But we want to thank Claudia for her service. We really appreciate it. And it was a 2-year stint that she gave to us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you for your service, Claudia. Anytime you feel that you'd like to come back, you are more than welcome to join our commission again. Okay. Now that we've introduced the commissioners.
I'm so sorry. Could I just interrupt for a second? So
I'm
sorry.
get
This is
on screen.
Dan.
Hang on one second.
The CDI cannot see Ernest.
Hold on, hold on.
Is not seeing Ernest.
Oh, Ernest can see the interpreter. Okay, we're gonna have to hold 1 second. Sorry, the CDI can't see you, Ernest. So we're figuring out how to fix.
Sorry, I was watching the chat.
Yeah, we were not planning to have a CDI for signing deaf people. So we didn't set that up. Fatima, can you see Ernest? Okay, it seems that Fatima can see Ernest. So, yeah, some people would like Fatima to interpret. Like Perspective said, they'd like to see the CDI as well. So maybe we could have both you signing Ernest as well as the CDI signing. And Ernest said, okay, no problem. That's perfectly fine. Fatima, if you don't mind going ahead and interpreting. Okay, fine. Sorry, I didn't realize you were asking for that. Yeah, we hadn't decided previously, but it's been requested, so we're going to go ahead and honor that request. Okay, great. So Fatima, go right ahead and interpret for me.
Carol.
I should be voicing. I'm
We
sorry.
still need voicing.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, we're going to have our staff open their cameras and introduce themselves. I've been here over a year. I've loved being here. I just love the Rhode Island Commission on the Deaf and Hard of Hearing and have learned so much. It has been a tough year, but a really, really good experience. And I've learned a lot about how things work here in Rhode Island, how to connect with folks, how to build services. And yes, it has been difficult, but I'm committed to working hard to improve the state of affairs in Rhode Island for deaf and hard of hearing people. I really want to see the quality of life improve. And I believe that things will be much better over a period of time, 5 to 10 years will be making a huge difference. So thank you so much for having me here. And I really appreciate your very warm welcome. I've talked to a lot of you over the last year. I know there are many, many issues, and I really appreciate it. I'd like to turn over to Pam Zellner now. If you could open your camera and talk a little bit about your position for a minute or so.
So Pam is saying, hi, everyone. I'll introduce myself, Pamela Zellner, and I'm the program manager here at the office. I've been here since 1997. I've had a lot of different roles and responsibilities while I've been here at the commission. I do information and referral, legislative issues and training and advocacy. And I've been so glad to work with the commission for so many years, and I'm looking forward to a lot of positive changes with the new director, Ernest. And I'm sorry that we can't see each other in person. I really miss the social time at the coffee hour. And hopefully next year we can all be together again. So thank you for being here virtually. Thank you.
Joan, I need you to step in for me. I got knocked off of Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to have Holly St. Pierre speak to us. She's the interpreter referral person for the Rhode Island Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Holly St. Pierre. I've been the referral specialist here at the Commission for the last 8 years. Been very excited working with Ernest now as our new executive director, although COVID has pretty much taken up his first whole year here, but it keeps him busy. But definitely looking forward to the future and lots of changes that are happening and improving the referral service here. And welcome to the coffee hour, COVID style.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So I'm looking to see who else is here that I want to introduce. I wanted to see if Michael Bear is here, but I don't see him. He's been doing the emergency communication preparedness, EPCAP, and he's been working with us for about 4 years where he's doing emergency preparedness what that means is if a crisis happens in the state of of Rhode Island, he makes sure that it's accessible for deaf and hard of hearing people. It's a heavy responsibility, especially now with COVID, to make sure that deaf and hard of hearing people have the information equivalent to any information that's going out to people who are not deaf, to make sure that it's ASL friendly or deaf friendly, and that all the information is available for also for deaf and deafblind people using captioning, people using text. And with COVID, it's been a huge issue for months, of course, now. And that's what Mike Baer has been working on with the Communication Access Program. So I really want to thank Mike for his work. So those are the 4 staff people at the commission. And then there's 2 people that we have on contract. One of them is Bethany Lenk. She is a staff support person. Bethany, if you could open up your video and speak for a couple of minutes.
So Joan, you'll need to do that.
I'm good. And Bethany, you're muted.
My name is Bethany Lank, and I am a contract project coordinator. I've been with the commission for 2 years. I help all of the departments with various tasks. Mostly I'm in the interpreter referral program, but I basically do whatever is needed to support the commission, and I look forward to seeing what we do in the future together.
Ernest is saying very good. Thank you. And there's also Bethany is actually hosts most of our Zoom calls. She's doing, it's been a while that we've been virtual, and she's been working, doing all of that. And the commissioners have taken up, we're meeting more now by Zoom. We started in March. We've had over 400 meetings on Zoom since March. So Bethany has had her hands full. Thank you so much for all your work. And really, I think the Zoom coordinator should be a full-time position. We use Zoom so much. So really, we appreciate your work. The other contract person is a position we just established, and it's COVID coordinator. This person focuses specifically with Mike Baer, helping facilitate between our office and the State House, making sure that all the information is accessible through news and announcements, press conferences, anything that's happening in the state of Rhode Island. Just, we had this person, we have Erin Furtado, and that person was working for us, but had to leave. And so we had to find somebody to fill Erin's position. That person, I don't think is here, but it's Lindsay Conway. And she just started 2 weeks ago. So we just thought it would be good to have extra help during this pandemic, because it's not going away. It's actually worse right now with the surge. So there's so much information that has to get out. What's the governor planning? What's happening? We know that in the future, we may have another lockdown. That is going to happen again, probably. And people want to know what the rules are. They want to know what's going on. So giving everybody information about what's happening next. For example, right now, restaurants and bars and stores have to close before 10 p.m.
I'm still on the Zoom call.
They can only operate during daytime hours until 10 p.m., not overnight. So we don't know if there's going to be a full out lockdown. And that's what Lindsay has been working with. She'll be coordinating with Mike Baer and with the interpreters to make sure that all of the information is out there. So thank you, Lindsay. There's also 4 people that I'd like to introduce who are under HSTP, and I don't think any of them are here. They're doing healthcare work. The first person is Christine West. And she's the program director. The second one is Alexander LaFerrier. I never spell his name right, sorry, but it's Alexander LaFerrier. He's the program operations person. And then Lindsay Conway, she's associated with them as well. She does communication specialist work. And the fourth person is Thomas Darden. And he's responsible for tech issues, internet. So the four of them are doing an awesome job. They have dived into this work, the HSTP program. They were concerned about the lack of interpreters and access for deaf people within the healthcare field. Miscommunication, places not providing interpreters. There are so many issues specifically about healthcare. So we developed a survey for our deaf people, and also we surveyed healthcare providers so that we were able to ask them how to improve services and how to link these communities into the healthcare world who've had such negative experiences. And we realized that Rhode Island has a lot of deaf and hard of hearing people who sometimes they end up in a nursing home instead of going to the emergency room. And what we're trying to do is resolve those issues and make sure that they get the help that they need. So they brought this up to the commission, and we wanted to improve the coordination between us and the healthcare systems. They started last February, and they've been going full steam ahead. They've been having all sorts of meetings. They've had a mini series. And unfortunately, there was supposed to be a program. The program was supposed to end on December 31st. So we were able to get an extension for them until 2024, which is fabulous. We're thrilled about that. But some of the staff are on contract and they'll be leaving. 2 of the staff will be leaving. So Thomas Darden and Lindsay Conway will have to leave that program at the end of December. But Christine West and Alexander LaFerriere will stay on after December. So we're going to be able to keep that program running. And I wanted to let the community know that we're going to be establishing websites that they've set up several resources so you can find out what's happening next. That group is doing such fantastic work, and I wanted to thank them for the kind of work they're doing with healthcare providers. I saw Mike Baer popped up for a second, and he wasn't here earlier. I did talk about you, Mike, but you hadn't introduced yourself. So if you could reopen your video, that would be great. So Mike is saying, I just finished work, so I'm here with you. Hello, everybody. Did you want me to explain my work? I did talk a little about EPCAP, but if you could talk a little bit about what you've been doing recently. And Mike is saying, great. Hello, I'm Mike Baer. And I'm the Director of Emergency and Public Communication Access Program at the Commission. This is, I think, my 4th year now. And basically, my major amount of work is focused on working with public services in the state of Rhode Island, public agencies, to make sure that the police, the fire station, the different hospitals, all public entities, government services, are aware of providing services for deaf people and that they're prepared for that. And we wanted proactive, not reactive. So I work a lot with the Rhode Island Emergency Management Association, emergency preparedness. That's been my focus. And then when COVID hit in March, that's obviously been my main focus since then. I've been working with COVID. I'm basically your link, your liaison to the Department of Health in Rhode Island and the community I'm the liaison between them. And really, I think I've been getting such great feedback from the community, and I've been able to pass that on to the Department of Health and really push them to give more access. For example, they realized that they had no language plan, even for spoken language, because there's people who speak Spanish or Portuguese or other languages here in Rhode Island. And we needed to add ASL to their list of languages that things are translated into as well. People don't just speak English. So it's been an excellent experience, and I feel like they're very responsive. The governor's office now is being very, very cooperative with us for meeting needs of deaf and hard of hearing people in the community. So I'm excited for the future when COVID finally is done and we can move forward. Thank you, Ernest.
Okay, I'll go, Joan. Thank you so much, Michael. Much appreciated. And I'm happy to be here, Ernest. Okay, so again, thanks, Michael. And it's great to hear from our staff. And now I'd like to go ahead, moving down our agenda, and I'd like to recognize 5 of our sponsors. We're so grateful for their contribution. So I'd like to tell you who they are, and then they can each open their camera and talk for 5 minutes about what they're doing. And then after that, just close your camera and we'll go on to the next sponsor. Our first sponsor that I'd like to recognize is Gallaudet Regional Center. Thank you so much for your contribution of interpreter services for this coffee hour tonight. We really appreciate your generosity. And I'd love for you, Todd, to come online and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's too bad we can't meet in person. I'm looking forward to meeting again, but for now we're doing virtual get-togethers. I'm Todd Higgins, and I'm the director of Gallaudet University Regional Center, which is in Haverhill, Mass, for the East Coast. It's at the Community College, Northern Essex Community College, and I've been there since 1980, well, it's been there since 1980, but I just replaced another person who had been working as director for 27 years. I joined 3 years ago. And we serve 12 states from Maine all the way down to West Virginia, plus Washington, D.C. And our main goal is to provide support and resources for parents who have deaf and hard of hearing children, ages 0 to getting out of high school, getting into college, getting out and getting a job. We have several programs, not in all 12 states, but we have one in Massachusetts where we do family sign language. So people who have deaf and hard of hearing children, we have that program in Rhode Island. In Rhode Island, it's called,
The Family Sign Language Program.
Family Sign Language Program. Sometimes the children are between 0 and 3, and we'll also hook them up with early intervention services. And the parents can be referred to us by early intervention if the people want to know sign language. And then we actually have a deaf person go into their home and teach them sign language until the child's 3. So they get 3 years of communication access, which we believe gives them the ability to become fully bilingual and language fluent. So I'm glad to be serving Rhode Island. And I'm also thrilled to partner with the Rhode Island Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing and be able to support the interpreting services in this event. I mean, people are always wanting to learn more about our program and what we can offer in Rhode Island. So thank you so much for the opportunity, Ernest.
Thank you so much, Todd. I really enjoyed your comments. I'd like to also introduce to you next another one of our sponsors, and that's Rhode Island Relay. I want to thank you for your generous contribution sponsoring this event, again, for interpreter services. If you go ahead and open up your camera, introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to use the interpreter to sign, please. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's an honor to be here. As everybody else has been saying, it's unfortunate we can't all be in person. I know I myself am really, really missing the brownie table. The brownies that were served at the coffee hours were the best. I really, and I'm hoping that next year we'll all be in the same room and we'll be sponsoring brownies. I am currently, by the way, my name is James Litvack, Litvack, and I am currently the manager for Rhode Island Relay. And currently, Rhode Island Relay offers a number of services to the deaf and hard of hearing. When I first started this position, I was surprised to find out that there's still a lot of TTYs in use. So we do provide TTY, traditional relay service. We also provide voice carryover service for people who are deaf and hard of hearing that want to use their own voice, but get the responses on the TTY. There's also telebraille service for the deaf blind. We also offer CapTel captioning for CapTel phones in Rhode Island. And we also offer RCC, which stands for Relay Conference Captioning. And in fact, that's the service we're using tonight for the captioning of this event. The link has been put in the chat a couple of times. If you haven't already clicked on it, check it out. It's quite a service. Now, even though we're not able to really meet in person, my outreach efforts are continuing. It's through Facebook, through virtual meetings. So if you're somebody that wants to use Relay for yourself or learn more for yourself or for somebody you know, contact us through email, through Facebook, and we'll find a way to meet up either safely in person, 10 feet apart, 6 feet apart. We'll figure something out. Thank you again for having me. And again, it was our pleasure to sponsor the interpreters for tonight. Okay, I'm done. I will shut down my video.
Okay, thanks so much, James. We really appreciate hearing from you. We'd like to recognize now Bridgemark. They contributed $100 toward our raffle, which is happening tonight. So we'd like to thank Bridgemark, and if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself, we'd love to hear from you. I'm not seeing Deb right now. Are you there, Deb? Okay, why don't we move on and get to our next sponsor? And we can check Bridgemark later. I'll tell you a little bit about them. What they do is provide, oh, here's Deb. Sorry, Deb, I was about to introduce you.
I am here, sorry.
That's okay. Tell us about Bridgemark, Deb.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to sponsor the gift cards for the Rhode Island Commission's coffee hour tonight from Bridgemark. We're very honored to help. What we do is we work with substance abuse and recovery. It could be from drugs, drinking, domestic violence, gambling. We have counseling. We have a bunch of different services. And we also have the coordinator for services for deaf and hard of hearing and deafblind with addiction services. We have very different levels of care. We have people who are outpatient.
Mm-hmm.
We have people who are detox. We have group homes, and there's outreach for them. And then there's a male residence. Right now, unfortunately, we do not have a place for women. We have men in our residence facility. So we run deaf programs. And if deaf people need assistance in how to become sober, clean and sober, we have counseling. And you can come in and do intake. And we have different levels of care. So we would definitely match you up with what you needed. We do provide interpreters for all of our services. So we have interpreting for all 12-step programs that we serve. It's fully integrated, obviously, as accessible as it is for non-deaf people. And also we use Zoom now, obviously, and in the deaf community, if there's anyone, if you or a loved one, a family member, a friend needs this kind of assistance, please contact us at Bridgemark. You can basically, our motto is like stop and become sober. So we have a video phone number, 401-354-7640. Thank you so much, Ernest, and keep safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Deb. We really appreciate Bridgemark's generous donation of a $100 gift card for our raffle. And we enjoyed learning about Bridgemark as well.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to hear from Perspectives Corporation. Thank you, Perspectives, for donating a $100 gift card as well for our raffle. We really appreciate it. And if a Perspectives representative would like to open up your screen, we'd love to hear from you and hear about your program.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Jim Simon, the Senior Director at Perspectives in the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Department. For those of you who don't know, Perspectives is a human service social service agency that's been around since 1977. And in 2003, we established a Deaf and Hard of Hearing department within the agency. And Perspective's main office is located in North Kingstown. However, we do provide services statewide. A range of services includes early intervention. It includes home-based therapeutic services for children ages 3 to 21. And it also includes a range of support services for adults. We provide day and community-based supports for individuals who are living with family. We provide a range of residential supports. We have 2 residential programs that are 24/7 care. We also provide support for people in independent living or who may be in a shared living arrangement. We are always looking for partners in terms of people who might be interested in learning more about what a shared living arrangement could be. And so we'd be happy to talk with anybody afterwards. We have information on our website that we welcome people to view. We also are routinely hiring. We look for direct support professionals to join our team. We've got a great group. In addition, we provide specialized services like employment supports with career developers. And we also have a team of behavioral health clinicians who are licensed therapists. And we are also beginning to open up our doors to some outpatient therapy services too. So there's a lot happening at Perspectives. We welcome anyone to give us a call, give us an email, check our website. We'd be happy to talk with you more. And we appreciate everything you do at the Commission. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks so much for coming tonight and telling us about Perspectives. And we really appreciate your contribution.
Absolutely.
Great having you here
Thank
tonight,
you.
Jim. Our last sponsor that I'd like to recognize tonight is Partners Interpreting. They also donated $100, a gift card for our raffle. So we're very grateful to Partners Interpreting. If you could just open your screen, we'd love to hear about your program, what you do, and we'd like to thank you.
Hi, all. Good evening. All right, so we've got, Paul and Jen. Great. I just want to make sure we weren't over 4 images. Perfect, we're good. So Paul is saying, hello, good evening. I'm Paul Tracy. Jen, you want to introduce
Hi
yourself?
there. I'll introduce myself. My name is Jen Maloney.
So Paul's saying, I wanted to thank Ernest and the staff at the Rhode Island Commission for having a virtual coffee hour tonight. This is the 10th year that Partners Interpreting has been involved. So it's the 10th anniversary of Partners and the 10th year that we've been involved with the Rhode Island Commission Coffee Hour. We're very thrilled to be involved with this. We coordinate interpreting services. We provide ASL translation and interpreting in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. So we work in schools, colleges, businesses, companies, hospitals, working with doctors. Anyone who needs an interpreter can contact us and we provide interpreting services. So we cover this area. We have many ASL interpreters and we also have a team of deaf interpreters. We have staff interpreters as well. With COVID, more of our services now are remote. So we're providing video remote interpreting and we'll continue with that, where people can interpret on Zoom and other platforms. And the hospitals here in Rhode Island need interpreters a great deal. And so deaf people should know their rights and know that when they go into a hospital or go to see a doctor, they can request an interpreter. So I wanted to appreciate Rhode Island for hosting tonight and for your work. And it was great to see so many people show up here virtually. Have a good evening. Congratulations for your anniversary.
Thank you. Thanks. Good night, everyone. Okay, well, thank you so much, partners, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate seeing you. We appreciate your donation of a gift card, and we loved hearing about the services that you offer. So those are our 5 sponsors tonight who've been incredibly generous, giving us our interpreter services as well as the gift cards. And we just can't thank you enough. We're really looking forward to that raffle tonight because we're going to have 3 lucky winners. Now, we have a number of exhibitors who've come. As you know, when we used to do this at the State House, we'd have, at least 20 or 30 exhibitors. Everyone set up a table and the audience was allowed to go and look at all the different displays and learn about services and learn about options for deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind people. And so we can't do that this year, unfortunately. We can't set up tables and have you come live. That's impossible. That wouldn't be safe with the virus. So we had to be creative and do this on Zoom. But we feel that, we can still do this. We can still hear from our exhibitors, hear their backgrounds, hear about what they offer, what their plans are, and what they would normally be exhibiting. So we're going to try to do this through Zoom tonight. And we'd love to hear about what you offer. To save time, we probably, if you've already introduced yourselves, you won't need to do that a second time. But any exhibitors who want can open up and hear from the audience. The audience is welcome to ask questions, and then you can answer. If your display or your company is asked a question, feel very free to go ahead and answer those, because people are probably curious about what you offer. And then, like I said, anyone who wants to ask a question, just go ahead and open your screen. And then the person being asked the question can open their screen and answer it. And then just be sure each of you close your screen afterward. We did get to our advertisers in advance, so we know that you're ready and that you're here and ready to ask questions. And we do want everyone to be able to communicate freely tonight. So why don't you, if you are an exhibitor, go ahead and open up your screen. Okay, whoops, I'm sorry. Maybe we could do one at a time. I didn't say that. The interpreter didn't interpret that clearly. Why don't we go ahead and have everyone turn off your screen? I believe, Nancy, there you are. Oops, now you're gone. Uh, why don't you go ahead and start, Nancy? We'd really like to hear from you.
So Nancy's saying, hi, everyone. You're muted, Nancy.
Open up.
Oh,
Hello, I miss seeing you all. It's nice to see you all on these 3 pages here on the Zoom screen, but I'd much rather be socially saying hello and giving some hugs around the table. I am Nancy McGuire Heath, and I am the director of the School for the Deaf here in Rhode Island, located in Providence. Most of you know where we are, and you know that we are a public school. We are a state school that was established in 1876. James wants to know what my cat's name is. This one is Sparkles. And I have another one called Houdini. Our school was established in 1876, and that makes us 144 years old. I've been the director. This is my 9th year as the director here at the School for the Deaf, and it's really been an exciting time. We have 4 primary services. We have the school itself, which houses students preschool through graduation, and that's age 3 through 22. We also have an outreach program, a very active outreach program, where we support students who are deaf and hard of hearing all throughout the state of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. These are students who are in their school districts or in charter schools, and they and the staff that serve them need support. And we go out on a regular basis to provide teacher of the deaf services, counseling, audiology, testing, whatever the district feels that they need to best serve the student that is placed there in their home school. We also have an active 0 to 3 program and growing. That parent-infant program is currently meeting on Zoom several times a week, including home visits. But it normally, when we're not in COVID, meets at the school in a classroom that is dedicated to the children and their families. And that is separate from our school. It is really an early intervention service, but we help sponsor it. The 4th area that we are responsible for is audiology. And we manage the state's audiology clinic, and it is housed at our school. And those screening and evaluation services are free to Rhode Island children through age 18. It is the only free place where you can get those services. And right now, with so many people out of work and with co-pays for insurance being higher and higher, we have seen a steady uptick in the number of children that we're seeing. So our audiologists are quite busy. We have 2 full-time audiologists who service students there in the clinic and also in our school. We have 60 staff members who work in our school. We are a bilingual bimodal program. And we also, besides servicing Rhode Island students, we service a handful of students from border communities in Connecticut and Massachusetts. So that's who we are in a nutshell. And I'll take any questions. I think most of you know us, but in case you don't know me, I'd love to say hello if you want to turn on your screen.
that's great, folks. Any questions at all, please just turn on your screen. Now's your chance. Doesn't look like anything right now. Going once, going twice.
Nobody wants to say hello? All righty.
Oh, Jim.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for turning on your screen. Hi, Mike. Hello, Arida. Oh, I see so many friends. It's wonderful. There's Barbara from our school and Danielle. Thank you all for saying hello.
Okay, great. Why don't we go ahead and thank you so much, Nancy. Maybe we could move on to one of our other exhibitors. Who would like to go next? I see Arida. Would you like to go ahead?
Hi, I'm hello everyone. Good evening. So I'm with the oh, hold on, let me just mute this. Someone's watching TV while I'm trying to talk. So my name is Arida Williams, and I am a family support brokerage specialist. I'm also a parent of a daughter who's deaf, Olivia Williams, who was part of your coffee hour and did an interview a couple of weeks ago. I work at the Sherlock Center. So the services and projects that we have at the Sherlock Center on Disabilities are Community Supports Navigator Program. We have early childhood. We do the early intervention. We have educational advocate programs. We have employment supports. We have the Rhode Island Children Youth Dual Sensory Impairment for the deaf and blind. We have the Rhode Island Vision Education Service Program. We have supporting parenting program, and we have the educational advocates program through DCYF. So we have an array of services and supports that we offer at the Sherlock Center. We are based at Rhode Island College. We were founded there in 1993. We're a university of center on developmental disabilities. And we've come every year to the coffee hour, so thank you for having us. It's a wonderful place for folks to get together and kind of interchange information and resources and kind of get together and celebrate, right? All the hard work that everyone does. So thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask Arida Williams? Okay, fine. Going once, going twice. Thank you so much, Arida. Really appreciate your comments. Really good to see you. We'd like to have someone open their window, whoever would like to go next. Joan, do you want me to do this?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me just pick somebody. How about Betsy? Why don't you go first? And then if others could turn off their videos, we'll be sure to get to you. Beautiful, thank you.
Oh, you're muted, Betsy. Sorry.
Oh. Sorry.
Okay.
Do you want me to
I'm the coordinator of the State Association for the Hearing Loss Association of America. We meet 4 or 5 times a year, usually in person at the Warwick Public Library. And we have not been meeting because of COVID, but our national office has been offering a lot of webinars and other educational programs, and we've been directing people to those. So HLAA started in 1979 as something called SHH, Self-Help for the Hard of Hearing. And let's see, the mission of HLAA is to open the world of communication to people with hearing loss by providing information, education, support, and advocacy. And it strives to give people tools and to sponsor events and just to show people with hearing loss that they do not have to face hearing loss alone. So that's basically it. And every year we do come to the coffee hour. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Betsy. Does anyone have any questions for Betsy?
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Betsy. And
Bonnie Kaplan.
hi, everyone. This is Bonnie Kaplan. It's so great to see all of you. It's too bad that we can't get together in person. But you know, this is great. This is a way that all of us can be together, and it's a lifesaver. So I'm grateful to Zoom. My name is Bonnie Kaplan. And I am a deaf victim advocate under Tri-County Community Action Organization. We're now in our second year. We're on a grant cycle, and we've been providing services for victims of crime for the state of Rhode Island. We've already served close to 75 individuals since 2019. And exactly what we do is that we, regardless of anyone's age, we provide services to people who become a victim of a crime, and that could be anyone. It could be domestic violence. It could be sexual assault. It could be some sort of financial scam. Really, crime affects so many people. So we're advocates, and my partner is Amy Slezak, and we both are deaf. We both are proficient in American Sign Language. And our goal is to provide both emotional, psychological, and other types of support and advocacy for any victims who need to go to court or who need support to file a grievance or a case or charges. We'll help people get referrals if they're not able to get specific services on their own. We teach people who've never worked with a deaf person how to partner with deaf people. So our agency is great for survivors, and communication access is what we specialize in. Also, we work for other departments as well, like the police department. Sometimes they don't quite know how to manage a statement coming from a victim of a crime. Writing notes isn't always effective. And what we do is strongly advocate for the use of interpreters. And they're learning now that not only do they need a sign language interpreter, but they need a certified deaf interpreter. They're beginning to realize the benefits of having a certified deaf interpreter. Another key to what we do is providing access to the court system. We make sure that all victims who have any sort of a court hearing, a trial, should have both an ASL and a CDI interpreter. Rhode Island has now been recognized and commended for their access to the legal system because we've been very direct and very clear about what's necessary. If you face a situation where you're a victim and you don't understand why you need a certified interpreter, a certified deaf interpreter, the reason we tell people we recommend it is that a certified deaf interpreter is very fluent in the legal system, which can be so overwhelming. Certified deaf interpreters can be a calming agent. They are familiar with the system. Every case is different, of course. So one size doesn't fit all. We know that. A lot of times after people experience a trial using a CDI, they realize how much more they learned, how much more access they had. They feel so much more confident in themselves. Also, we serve victims out of state. For example, if there's an issue where someone in Rhode Island becomes a victim of, they become victims of a crime in Rhode Island, because whatever the situation was may have happened in Rhode Island, even if the victim doesn't live there. We serve those individuals. Our services are free. There's absolutely no charge. And we're always here for you. If you're not sure if you're a victim or not, or you're a little bit unclear about how to file a grievance or a complaint of any kind, maybe you don't feel comfortable with English, if it's not your first language, we can actually write for you. There's no reason for you to feel like you can't have, your services simply because you don't feel comfortable writing. So maybe you want to apply for unemployment benefits or other benefits, and you need help with your pension, for example. We can help you with that. Maybe you've lost benefits for one reason or another. Maybe you lost your job because you're in court a lot. Maybe you need counseling. Maybe you need dental services because somebody hurt you. You have facial damage. There are so many reasons that we do get involved, but we can actually help you get your cases heard and determine eligibility so that you can actually use the system. Sometimes people don't ask for a receipt, and they don't know that they're supposed to ask for a receipt when they make a purchase, for example. We can try to help people understand how important that is, and we can help them get what they need in terms of things like receipts. We do have access to our services through video phone, through computer, through Zoom. So please feel free to contact us anytime. If you're not sure, just go ahead and contact us and we'll have a conversation and determine whether we can help you or not. If you may not know, for example, if you are a victim, our door is never closed and we never close a case. We want to make sure that you get what you came for. And so we want you to know that we're always here. Another thing I want to mention, when it comes to insurance, for example, parents who may have deaf children, they want to make sure that their children have adequate services. Or parents who have hearing children, they want to make sure that they have adequate services. We don't turn anyone away. So again, please contact me with questions, clarification. We're here for you. Thank you. Thanks, Bonnie. Just checking the time here. We have a couple of more people we'd like to hear from. So why don't we go on to have you introduce yourself, who you represent. Thank you. Looks like Sarah, you're open. Okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Rosendale, and I am a teacher of the deaf and program coordinator for the Auditory Oral Foundations program at Northern Rhode Island Collaborative. We are a statewide educational collaborative educational program for children who are deaf and hard of hearing and whose families have chosen listening and spoken language for their communication methodology. We have a variety of services that we offer. We work with families and children in the birth to 3 years age range. We have teachers of the deaf and speech therapists, both of whom work with that population. We also have a school age and preschool age program. We have classrooms taught by certified teachers of the deaf and auditory oral speech therapists. Our additional service providers, physical therapists, occupational therapists, all also have training and experience with children with hearing loss and with hearing technology. We also support children across the state in their home school districts in consultation and direct service, trainings for staff, and we also provide technology support to school districts across the state. So we're very happy to be here again this year, although as everyone else has said, I wish it could be in person. It's one of my favorite evenings of the year to be able to catch up with people in person, but it's nice to be able to see people here this evening. So thank you.
Oh, thanks so much, Sarah. Really appreciated hearing from you. And now we have Kate.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate. I am from Disability Rights, Rhode Island. We used to be called the Rhode Island Disability Law Center. And we have been joining you for many years, and I'm happy to be here tonight. We are a small nonprofit, and we are federally funded. We help people with disabilities with legal problems with their civil rights. And a couple of projects that I've been working on, one project involves helping make sure that hospitals are providing communication access to people who are deaf and hard of hearing. I've done a lot of work on that. And another project that I've worked on and worked with Michael Baer is about getting police departments to do better with communication access for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. I also had a program on voter education, and I've been working very hard during COVID to make sure that voting was easy for people. And one example was the mail ballot voting. We made sure that you did not have to have 2 witnesses or a notary if you wanted to vote safely at home by mail. My office worked with Common Cause and the ACLU to advocate for safe, accessible voting for people. So those are some of the things that keep me busy, and it's always wonderful to be here. And we do our best to work on communication access issues for your community. And we're here for you.
That's great. Thank you so much. And Mike Bear says, hi, Kate. Thanks so much. I wanted to say hi to you tonight. What a great job it's been. Great experience it's been working with you. Okay. Now we have another representative. Sorry, I missed your name.
Jordan Butterfield.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Butterfield. I work at Trinity Repertory Company, which is a theater in Providence. I have a picture of it behind me, if you can see me. We are a professional regional theater. My title there is the Director of Education and Accessibility. And we have a few different ways for folks to be able to get involved and enjoy our performances. So we have ASL interpretation. Basically, I just need some heads up so that I can book the interpreters and have them rehearse. So they will attend a couple of rehearsals and the show, and then we can place them in a good position in the house so that you can see both the interpreters and the stage. As far as open captioning goes, we've really expanded that program in the last 5 years. We were able to purchase equipment so we can caption our shows, and we have 3 different subscription options. So you could either just buy a single ticket, and if you just want to see one show, maybe you love a new play or you really love a Shakespeare or, whatever it is. But you could also subscribe, and we have typically, in a non-pandemic, we have 7 shows each season, including A Christmas Carol. And so you can purchase a subscription either on a Sunday afternoon, a Wednesday afternoon, or a Wednesday evening. and those would be open captioned. And so that is in a typical year when we're doing live theater. This year, we are not doing any live theater. So we are making a Christmas Carol, which is our yearly tradition, which we do differently every single year, a video. And so I'm going to stick in the chat 2 links. The first one is if you want to sign up to watch the video, you can either do it as a person or as an educator. The educator link will actually let you send it to all of your students so that they can watch it on their own devices. If it's just a personal general admission link, you could just watch it, at home, right? And there will be captioning, both English and Spanish captions available for that. And we're also working with various companies for any live Zoom videos that we're putting out on our Facebook. We're working to add captioning to all of those as well. So right now we have we have a couple of projects we're working on, but so that's that for now. If anyone has questions, you could put them in the chat. I have learned so much running this program. Folks have helped me to position the open captioning screens better. We've changed based on the audience's reactions. So any feedback is much appreciated and really will help us create a better audience experience for all of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jordan. That was so interesting. And we're getting really, really close to 7:30. I know it's the moment you've been waiting for. It would be the time for our drawing. And I know you've heard a number of presenters, and I'm sorry about the timing of all this, but we definitely want people to, again, know who you are and what you do. So our next presenter, it looks like we have 3 more. We want to, again, hear your experience. Oh, excuse me. This is, I'm talking about some of the things that we were showing earlier. We had a whole series on racial equity and social justice. And I was interviewed. I talked about my personal experience, and we had other interviews as well. And it was so interesting. I hope you had a chance to see it. Those are available. We had a Black deaf individual. We had another person, and I'll show you their pictures as well. We had Mill Maglin Morales. Hi, Mill Maglin, who is deaf from Puerto Rico, right? Did I get that correct? Thank you. It's so good to see you here. And another person who I'd like to feature, and that's Olivia Williams. We were also lucky enough to interview Olivia. Can you open your screen, Olivia? Okay, I don't see you right now, which is fine. Olivia, just to tell you a little bit about Olivia, she's a Black woman. She grew up using the oral method. She has a cochlear implant, and she talked very eloquently about her experience going to school. She graduated from RIT, and she's working here in Rhode Island currently. She has a fascinating background, and it was so interesting to listen to her journey of everything that she went through during her school years. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we have Mill Maglin here today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ernest.
I'll speak very briefly tonight. I'm hoping that people had watched my speech about my time as a person of color who's deaf. I have several things that, right now I'm the head of the early childhood education at the Learning Center for the Deaf, the Marie Philip School for the Deaf in Framingham, Mass. And I also have a role where I'm the National Association of the Deaf Region 1 representative. As you mentioned, I'm from Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico, and I'm from a Spanish-speaking family. We moved here to Connecticut so that I could go to the school for the deaf, and I graduated from there. And then for college, I went to a regular public university and got a master's in education in Connecticut. My bachelor's is in early childhood ed. Now I work on my I'm working on my second master's now, educational leadership. And it's possible, I don't know if people have already watched the video of my presentation, but if there's any questions, you can go ahead and ask me because I'm here.
Thank you so much. Folks, really, this is your chance to talk to Mill Maglin about her journey. Okay. Yes, Michael. Is it okay for me to go ahead? Yeah. Hi, Mill Magnin. It's very nice to meet you. I'm Mike there, and I do have a question. I've been in the field of deafness for over 30 years. And one thing that always surprises me is when we have positions open, and we are very eager to hire folks from the BIPOC community, people of color, but there seems to be a dearth of applicants. And I know there are a lot of factors. I do recognize that. I know one is that we don't really do a very good job of reaching out. The majority culture doesn't really reach out. And I do understand that. I'm wondering if you could give us an idea or two of what we could do to be outreach better to the BIPOC community. Because I know that people are very eager to hire from a diverse population, but we're just not quite sure how to reach them. And I don't mean to be insensitive. I hope that I'm not being insensitive, but with Black Lives Matter now, it's especially important that we see more and more BIPOC people working in good positions. I'm wondering if you could talk about that.
Thank you for that question, Mike. As you mentioned, there are several factors. And one thing I think is people who are Black, Indigenous, people of color have experienced a lot of barriers. Sometimes they themselves are worried that the opportunities for advancement aren't there. And also they have a lot of experiences where, you know, they're negative self-talk, or they've tried in the past and they've hit these glass ceilings, basically. It depends on the interview committee. What if they're all white? Is that very welcoming? How do you recruit people? How do you get them to, you know, fill job positions that are available? One thing I would suggest is like if you're interviewing, don't be like so thrilled that the person is BIPOC and then prioritize them. That's a concern because of tokenism. You have to be very careful to avoid tokenism.
Okay, yep.
You want to look at their qualifications. You want to see what their experience and background is. If they're capable of doing the job, sure, offer them the job. Again, people who are on the interview committee, a lot of them have implicit bias if they're white. So first, they have to unpack that white privilege because there's such systemic racism. And we have to fix that first. Because once you actually are open, then people, they may want to apply, but they don't feel safe to work in that environment or that system. They don't know if it's going to be comfortable for them. So there are many, many factors, as you said. And again, I would encourage people to do that self-examination. You know, that you want to, it's not so much the people that you're trying to hire, but yourselves, to actually analyze yourselves and look for that white privilege. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, we'll have coffee sometime and talk about this in person later.
For sure. And nice to meet you so much, Mike.
Okay, have we missed anybody? Do we have others here? Or do we have any folks who'd like to ask questions? This is a perfect time to ask questions of any of our presenters today. And if you have a question for Olivia, that's fine too, although it doesn't appear that she's here. Mill Maglin, I did, tell me your name sign. Oh, okay, that's right. I remember now. I did have a question. After you told us about your journey, I wondered how it felt to you that knowing that it was distributed to the public. I mean, you shared a lot of sensitive information, and you know, you even talked about the nickname you had when you were younger and how offensive that was. And I'm just wondering how it feels now to know that your story is out there.
Well, originally, I felt like it was a burden to share my story. That did feel that way. But I'm a teacher at heart. I've taught for more than 16 years. So at the same time, I feel like it's a duty to teach children about my experience and share my personal journey to educate them. That's so important. So I do feel very good that I was there and that I put that out to make myself vulnerable, because there may actually be people out in the community who are Black, Indigenous, people of color who have the same experience and relate to me and identify. So,
Right.
you know, just to mention a little bit about my name, Milmaglin, that my family gave me that name. And when I was at a deaf school growing up, I came in at middle school and most of my teachers were deaf. And there was a woman, a deaf person, who approached me. And she said, it's so difficult writing your name. Mill Maglin is such a long name. And I was young, so I didn't really understand. So she's like, I'd like to give you a nickname, like Millie. That's easier for me to write. So I said, okay, fine. But as I got older and I was involved in different groups, I would always be involved in racial justice workshops and conferences. And I also was on the board of the National the Organization for Deaf Latinx.
Yes.
And I was on the board and I started to realize that people on the board had experiences similar to mine. And as I started to look inside myself, I realized that I was actually ignoring my own culture and my own heritage because of that. I always thought I was deaf first. And then I realized, no, I actually have to celebrate my Latinx culture. So I reclaimed my name because it's part of my identity. So now I really consider myself, I identify as Latinx first and then deaf.
Oh, wow. I can relate to that experience. When I was at the School for the Deaf, you know, my name is Ernest. People would call me Ernie all the time, and I was not thrilled with that name, Ernie. And I went by it for so long, but I didn't care for it. And, you know, it's like Easy Street. Ernie's just easy for people.
Sesame Street character Ernie.
Sesame Street. So it was a struggle for me. I didn't want them to call me that. And I had to really draw the line and say, my name is Ernest, and I want to be called Ernest. And I said, the comments, you know, when you said that about your nickname, I could relate to that so strongly. You know, white people, maybe nicknames aren't such a big deal, but for me, it was an insult. I just felt diminished by it. And I think I could really understand what you were saying. Again, it has to do with your heritage and your background.
Yeah, and it's just not you and me. I have noticed that among many BIPOC people.
You know, I never realized that, but now I do realize that. And now I realize why I can relate so strongly to what you're saying. When I was working at the School for the Deaf in Michigan, some of the teachers, you know, would still call me Ernie, even though I was a grown man and a professional, and I would have to correct them. And they were like, oh, okay. So anyone, thanks so much, Mil Maglin. Do folks have questions before we move on? We're getting a little bit close to the end, but if you have questions, this is a great time to ask them. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ernest, for having me tonight.
Thank you so much for presenting for our series and then for showing up tonight. What a great experience it was. And I'm glad you're here at our virtual coffee hour. And NAD Region 1, that's fantastic. We need you here. So we have an Association of the Deaf here in Rhode Island, or Rhode Island Association of the Deaf. Danielle, maybe you could, there's Danielle.
Yes, hi, hi, Mil Maglin. Great to see you here. I wanted to say hi, and we were running out of time, so I actually put something about the Rhode Island Association of the Deaf in the chat, but I'll keep it really short now that you've called on me. I'm Danielle Laughlin, and I'm here representing the Rhode Island Association of the Deaf. I'm the president. My term is almost up. It'll be ended in January, and I'm excited that there'll be some new blood, I'm hoping, who are ready to jump in. So our primary purpose here is to advocate and support the deaf community who are here. You know, a lot of them are struggling in the system. They don't know what the services are. They have a hard time getting interpreting services and accessing appropriate education events. So we've had a lot of different events in the past, but now with COVID, we're trying to pivot to more, virtual events. We have a small board and we're going to re-energize in 2021. And I wanted to emphasize right now, we're offering free membership until 2023. So you can get over 2 years. We want to have people involved. So, and also we have, if you type in the address, all you have to do is go on our website.
Oh, let me add that NAD also has one of our priorities at NAD is to dismantle racism, systemic racism. We've made that an important goal. We have other priorities as well, but that's one of them. And we'll be focusing on that over the next 2 years. So I hope whoever replaces you, I'll look forward to meeting that person.
I'm actually talking with somebody who wants to do racism equity training. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. Great.
Thanks, everyone. What a wonderful exchange. Now we're getting to our very last part, which is just so exciting. I'm going to turn this over to Pam Zellner. She's been in charge of our raffle, so she'll take over. Hi, everybody. This is so exciting. I can't stand it. I know you're just can't wait any longer. And it's been great, though, to hear from all of our exhibitors and presenters. So we're going to go ahead and start the drawing for 3 gift cards, each worth $100. And here I go. We put everyone's name in a bowl. I'm mixing it up, as you can see. I'm going to take my time here. I want to make sure it's very mixed up. All right. First person is, are you ready? Janice.
Musco, M-U-S-C-O.
Janice Musco. Are you here, Janice? Oh, darn it. I don't see you. But congratulations. We're going to hold this for you. Could someone turn off their background noise sound?
Might be Zoom bombing.
Oh, Zoom bombing. Okay, next lucky winner is Deb O'Gare. Woo! Deb, are you here? Deb O'Gare. O-G-A-R-E. Oh, too bad Deb isn't here. We have one more person. Hopefully they're here. I'm going to look really hard for a good one. There we go. And the winner is Heather, meet Bala. Fantastic. Heather. Heather, are you here? Darn it. We don't have Heather. That's okay. Heather is a lucky winner. Congratulations, all three of you. So we've had 3 winners, and we'll contact you by mail. We'll make sure that everyone gets their gift card. Thanks so much for watching. It was just so nice to have you all here. Now, don't go away. I'd like to call James back. Go ahead, Jim. If you could open your camera.
One more raffle.
One more raffle. Should I pick a name?
Yes, Pam, you can pick it.
All right, I'm going to do it. This is for one of your gorgeous sweatshirts. Soka. Corn. I believe you are here, Soka. I saw your name. Soka? Let me just scan the screen because I know I see. Go ahead and open your window. The window is open. It may be that you're just not in the room right now. That's okay. Congratulations, Soka.
Oh, she's saying I'm here, but it won't let me open the window.
Oh. Oops. Sorry, Joan, I got
You've been asked to open your window.
Congratulations for all the winners, the 4 winners tonight. That's great.
Okay, so now I want to say this event, our virtual coffee hour, I'm just so happy. So many of you came. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you know that we're open. We're still working. We're very much interested in what you have to say. Of course, things are very different from usual, but we are here and we do care. And we're so grateful that you all showed up tonight. Hopefully next year we'll be doing this at the State House in person. And everything will be back to normal. Before we close for the night, I'd like to have Tim come back on the screen for a few closing remarks. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. So I'm glad I didn't walk away. No, I'm teasing. It was great to see so many people here tonight. You know, there's such a number of people here. Some of the people are very familiar with us and some of them are new faces. But for 2021, so why I keep on reinforcing the idea of hope. We're going to have President Biden taking office and Vice President Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the first woman vice president and the first Black person and South Asian person who's been vice president in history. That's record breaking. It's amazing. And Biden, when he spoke, when he did the acceptance speech, he actually mentioned disabilities during that speech that Saturday night. He made a commitment to move forward and make sure that the disabled community was brought up. And I think deaf people now have an opening within 2021 and ongoing. So that's why it gives me hope. I'm very excited, looking forward to the future. And I want to thank everyone who came tonight.
Thank you so much, Tim. Loved your remarks. It is time to close. So everyone, please feel free to go ahead and open up your cameras so we can all say hello and goodbye to one another. Nice job, everybody, says Gina.
Thank you to all the sponsors.
Oh. Jonah, are you going to open your camera? I wasn't planning to.
No.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
I want to thank all the commissioners who attended tonight. Tim saying yes. Thank you.
Hi, Delia.
Good job, interpreters, says Tim.
Yes, thank you, interpreters and CART.
Stephanie and Fatima. Awesome.
Danielle saying good night, everyone. Pam saying yes, good night.
Good night, everybody.